Hello and welcome to the first day of the Festival of Media Global in Rome. We are into the afternoon of the first day. We've just had the awards. The networking area is slowly quietening as everyone's heading back into the conference sessions. And somebody that has a keen viewpoint on probably how the event has changed over the past decade, Dominic Proctor, the Global President of GroupM. Thank you very much for joining us. How has the event changed since you first pitched up in Venice 10 years ago?
Well, it seems bigger. I'm sure it is bigger. And therefore more successful and makes you more prosperous, which is also good. Probably broader, I suppose. I mean, I think that's probably a reflection of the way the industry's changed. I mean, in those days, 10 years ago, it wasn't that long ago, but it was a much narrower business. And funny enough, I was talking this morning how many of us at that meeting forecast that the business would broaden and broaden, and it has, and I think that's probably reflected in the type of people you have here, the numbers of people, maybe the types of sponsor too, unrecognisable almost.
I was in your session, it was thoroughly interesting, and one of the things you reflected on is actually that the industry, media in particular, and the agencies have moved from one side of the stage into the middle of the stage. With that comes pressure, obviously. There's a new pressure for talent, there's a new pressure to kind of work out how to use data more effectively and collaborate. But overall, you feel it's been a positive change over the last 10 years?
Yeah, for sure a positive change. I mean, some of us were talking this morning about how our own populations have massively outgrown the growth of the media market. I mean, the number of people working in media agencies has more than doubled, like for like, apples to apples, compared to the speed of growth of the market. That tells you that the worth of the agencies, the kind of contributions we're making, the fact we're centre stage doing lots of different things, the evidence there is in the numbers. I think it's now for us to deliver and continue to deliver. But we're in the right place.
You mentioned as well that the sort of long history of media investment management and the companies that have kind of emerged, that how they are today, but data is going to probably change that in a way. Do you think that the media agencies as we know it might disappear, or it'll merge into something else kind of unrecognisable from what we know it today?
Yeah, I think almost certainly unrecognisable. I don't precisely know what, of course, and God knows I'll be here in 10 years' time to check this hypothesis, but my guess is they won't be at all the same. They probably won't be called that, and they probably will be more based on data. They probably have more creativity. When I say creativity, I mean creative people, copywriters, art directors within it. I think there'll be some degree of merger back into a more like a full-service concept again. I don't think clients will continue to look for the integration of different specialisms. I think they'll be in one house. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. I wouldn't even be surprised if the current kind of holding company models become more and more themselves a kind of 21st century agency model. Who knows? But there'll be less specialism, more big internally integrated companies. That's my bet.
And obviously, from a GroupM perspective, you have been fairly busy in terms of acquisitions. You're adding to the skills and the technologies available to you. Is that a sort of model that you think, rather than trying to develop things yourself, bring the skills into the organisation and change that way?
Yeah, to some extent. I mean, we're not arrogant enough to think we have within the company the skills already, or indeed the ability to retrain people. So acquisitions do two things. They bring in very specialist knowledge, which then becomes general, and they do it quickly. That's the other thing. So you're bringing them straight away. You're not having to grow. Now, there are challenges with acquisitions, but when we think, and again, I was reflecting about this morning, 10 years ago, we spoke about the digital department. And today we were talking about the addressable television department. In 3 years' time, people will wonder what that was, because it'll all be addressable. It all is digital. The specialisms will cease to be specialist.
Yeah. And I'll just pick you up on that actually the addressable television, and how quickly do you think that revolution's going to happen? Because obviously at the moment perhaps there may be an appetite from the buy side, but broadcasters haven't quite moved as quickly as maybe the rest of the industry has. And how soon do you think that's going to be a reality in a mass opportunity sense?
Well, it's a reality in the sense that it's gone past the beta testing now and it's in market in some cable markets. It's not a reality in the sense it's not broad, as you said. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. It comes to the question about the degree of investment in the technology and the distribution systems to make it into a mass business. One thing I would say, though, and again, we spoke about this morning, some of us, about how when that type of business does grow and grow and grow, it's important that we get the right metrics and the right accountabilities and the right integrity, was the word that was used, in place early. I would hate to think that type of development trips over itself in the years to come because it doesn't have a marketplace integrity that will be demanded of it when it's successful.
Well, fantastic. Thank you very much for your time and your thoughts. And as you said, maybe we'll be celebrating another decade anniversary, but in 3 years, given the pace of change. So look forward to welcoming you back then.
Thank you very much.